Hi, this is Kara from KB Crochet. This tutorial will show you how to make a swim cover-up in child sizes 12 to 18 months through a child size extra large. This is the abbreviated version of this tutorial, so it will not show me crocheting the entire pattern. For the extended version, check out my YouTube channel. For this project, you will need a size J crochet hook and Lion brand comfy cotton yarn, or another worsted weight cotton yarn. The number of cakes you'll need for each size are shown on the following chart. These are estimated numbers, so you may need a little less or more. Let's get started. To begin, you're going to need a series of foundation double crochets. If you don't know how to do a foundation double crochet, check out the tutorial on my YouTube channel in the playlist titled Intermediate Crochet Lessons and Tutorials. For each size, the number of foundation double crochets you'll need is shown below. Once you've finished your foundation double crochets, you're going to need to join that last stitch to the top of the first stitch with a slip stitch. I usually do this by inserting through the back because it's easier to prevent your first round from twisting. Then when you're all done, at some point you can go back and stitch that gap up with the tail from when you started. To start the next round, you're going to chain 3, and that's going to count as your first double crochet. You're then going to do 3 more double crochets in that same stitch. So counting your first set of chains, that's going to be 4 double crochets. 1 more. You're then going to chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and do a single crochet in the next stitch. You're then going to chain 3, skip 2 stitches, and single crochet in the next one. You're then going to chain 2, skip 2, and you're going to do 4 double crochets in that next stitch to start the pattern over again. So you've got your 4 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 3, skip 2, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, skip 2, and you're back to 4 double crochets in the next one. And you'll continue that pattern around, ending with a chain 2 and then joining to the top of that first chain 3 that you did to start the round with a slip stitch. To start your next round, you're going to chain 5, and that will count as your first double crochet, chain 2. You're then going to double crochet in that next stitch, chain 2, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, and double crochet in the next stitch. You're then going to chain 3, and skip 4 stitches and single crochet in the middle of that chain 3 space from the previous round. You're then going to chain 3 again, skip 4 stitches, and repeat. So you'll do a double crochet in the first double crochet from the previous round in that next bunch. Chain 2, double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 3, skip 4 stitches and single crochet in the middle of that chain 3 space from the previous round, chain 3, and keep going. You'll notice that you will always do a double crochet, chain 2, in a double crochet from the previous round, and your single crochet will always be in the middle of that chain 3 space in between the clusters of double crochets from the previous round. You'll go ahead and continue this all the way around. To end the round, you're going to chain 3 and join to the third chain in your beginning set of chain 5 with a slip stitch. I always go in through that back loop, even when I'm joining rounds, just because I like the way it looks better. But it's really a matter of preference. And honestly, it probably will get buried, so up to you. To do the next round, you're going to start with a chain 6. That's going to count as your first double crochet plus chain 3. You're then going to double crochet in the next double crochet from the previous round, chain 3, double crochet in the next double crochet from the previous round, chain 3, double crochet in the next double crochet from the previous round, so you'll have 4 double crochets and 3 chain 3 spaces. You're then going to skip all the way over to the next set of double crochets from the previous round. So don't pay any attention to those chains or the single crochet, and you're going to double crochet right into that next one. So there's no chains or anything in between the fans in this round. You're then going to chain 3, double crochet in the next double crochet from the previous round, oops. This yarn does split a little bit. Chain 3, double crochet in the next double crochet from the previous round, chain 3, and double crochet in the next. Double crochet from the previous round. Good, you'll just continue that all the way around. To finish off the round, you're going to join your last double crochet into the third chain of your first chain 6 with a slip stitch. After that, you're just going to repeat those last 3 rounds until your dress is the desired length. After I show you how to get the yarn placed to start the next 3 yarns, I will show you a chart that gives you some approximate lengths you should be working toward. To start the next round, you'll notice that each fan has 3 chain 3 spaces. You're going to slip stitch to the center of that first chain 3 space, chain 1, do a single crochet. You're then going to chain 2 and do 4 double crochets in the next chain 3 space. You're then going to chain 2 and do a single crochet in the next chain 3 space of that first fan. You're then going to chain 3 and single crochet into the first chain 3 space of the next fan, chain 2, and do 4 double crochets. Oh, yeah, I thought I miscounted that. Sorry, you chain 2. I did 3 there. Sorry about that. You're then going to do 4 double crochets into the next chain 3 spaces. You're then going to chain 2 and do a single crochet in the next chain 3 space, chain 3, and single crochet into the first chain 3 space of the next fan. You're then just going to repeat that all the way around until you get back to the end of this round. I don't know why I keep trying to do chain 3 there instead of chain 2 in between those single crochets and double crochets, but it is chain 2 in between the singles and doubles. It's chain 3 between the different fans, if that makes sense. You're going to finish the round by doing that last single crochet in that last chain 3 space from the previous round, chain 3, and join with a slip stitch to the third chain in your beginning chain 5. Just like you did the first time you did this round 2. So now I always call them round 1, round 2, and round 3. I don't count the foundation row, as one of the rounds, but just the pattern rounds. All right, so to start the next one, you're going to chain 6, which will count as your first double crochet, and chain 3. You're then going to do a double crochet in that next double crochet from the previous round, chain 3, double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 3, double crochet in the next double crochet. Good, and that will give you a completed fan with 3 chain 3 spaces and 4 double crochets. To start the next fan, you're going to do a double crochet into the next double crochet. So you won't do any chains or do anything with that single crochet that's in between them at all for this round. You'll just go right into the next fan. So double crochet, chain 3, then you're going to, let me move that a little closer, double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 3, double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 3, good, and there's your second fan finished. You're going to just keep continuing that around until you get back to the beginning. You're going to end this round by joining that last double crochet in your last fan to the top of the third chain in your beginning chain 6. Good. Then you're just going to go back and repeat those 3 fan rows that we just did over and over. Until you get your dress, the body of your dress, to the length you want it, which is going to depend on what size you're making. I have a chart that shows you about the length you're going to want for each size, but it's going to depend on who you're making it for. So you can see these are the average lengths, and they're a little bit varied because one would be approximately knee length versus mid to lower calf length. So it depends also on how long you want to make the dress to fit the child you're making it for, whether you want it to be a short dress or a longer dress. And that's just a matter of personal preference. It may also help if you have the ability to measure the child you're making it for. The next thing you need to do is add the straps. This chart shows you how many stitches wide your strap should be depending on the size and how many stitches you'll skip for the placement of each strap. So using the size 12 to 18 months as an example, which is also the example I'm stitching in this video, you'll want each strap to be 4 double crochets wide. You're going to skip 12 stitches across the back, you're going to skip 12 for each armhole, and you're going to skip 11 for the front. Your straps for this size would be 8 to 10 rows, 8 if you tend to be a more loose crocheter, 10 if you tend to crochet really tight. And so you can see that that's the same for each size. There's a range of how many rows you should use. And then there isn't a huge variation for how many stitches you skip or how many stitches wide each strap is. So if you get done and you think the straps look a little wide, you can always make them a little more narrow, or you can add a stitch and make them wider. It's really a matter of personal taste for that. When I go to do my placement, I always go back to that foundation row, and later on when I'm all finished, I'm going to join this to the top of the other one with the slip stitch and use the tail to stitch it up there. But before I do that, I use that as kind of a landmark to know where the center of my back is going to be. And then since this is a 12 to 18 month going by my chart, I'm going to start by skipping 6 stitches because I'll want 12 skip total across the back. So half of that going from the middle is 6. So I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I'm going to mark the first stitch where I want my strap placed with a safety pin. I'm then going to go for a cross because the width of my strap for this size is 4 double crochets. Hold on, I'm trying to grab another pin. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right there in that purple one. Oh, yeah, first purple one, sorry. Should be careful how I say that purple one when there's 2 in a row. And I'm going to put a safety pin there as well. So now I've got both the front and the back end, both sides of that first strap marked. So then I need to skip stitches for the armhole. According to the chart, I need to skip 12. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. Then I'm going to put a safety pin in the next one. And then I'll skip so that it's 4 across. So skip 3, or skip 2, I guess, and put a safety pin in the third one. Good. Now I've got both the front and the back of that strap marked. Then I'm going to skip 11 across the front. And put a safety pin in the next to mark the first edge of my next strap. And then in the 4th stitch, I'm going to put the other marker. And then I'm going to skip 12 again for the other armhole. And make that 4 wide. And I'll put in the other safety pin. That will show you how I mark those straps. And I always do that just to kind of give myself an idea of whether or not I like the look of that strap placement. When you're done marking your stitches, you're going to join the yarn into one of those spaces with a safety pin to start your first strap. And you're going to join with a slip stitch. You're then going to chain 3, which will count as your first double crochet. You're then going to double crochet in the next stitch. And continue doing double crochets in each stitch until you get to that other safety pin. So it'll be either 4, 5, or 6 double crochets, depending on the size you're making and on how wide you want your straps to be. And once you've crocheted into or joined the yarn to a stitch with the safety pin in it, you can go ahead and remove the safety pin. You're then going to turn, chain 3, and double crochet in the next 3 stitches. And you're just going to keep doing rows of double crochets across, whether it's 3, 4, or 5. Sorry, whether it's 4, 5, or 6, until you get the number of rows you need for your strap length. And you can find that on the chart that I showed earlier in this video. When you get to the number of rows you need for your strap, you're going to finish off, leaving a long enough tail for stitching. I actually probably could have left that a little bit longer actually, but we'll make it work. You're then going to match that strap up with those safety pins on the other side. So on the back or the front, depending on where you started the strap. So you'll just match it right up there. And then you're going to join that tail to that first stitch. And you'll want to make sure you didn't twist the strap before you do this. You'll join with a slip stitch. You can take that safety pin out now. And then using whatever you like, your hook or a needle. I really like these finishing needles, that you can find at Joann or whichever craft store is close to you, or Amazon. And I just stitch this on, stitch for stitch, going right across to that other safety pin. And then once you get to the other side, you're going to finish off using whichever method you typically use. I will probably always recommend going back to your hook if you're not already using your hook and finishing with a slip knot just to make sure it's really secure, and then weaving in. And then you'll do the same thing for the strap on the other side. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section for this video. I will include a link to the written pattern, which will include all of the charts that I used in this video in the description. If you would like to see some other tutorials, please feel free to subscribe to my channel or check out the written patterns that I have on my blog. Thank you and happy crocheting!